The best part 2 in Dokkan Battle history is on its way. But when exactly will it drop in your local time zone? How's it, everybody? Celtic here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are taking a look at the 11th anniversary part 2 LR's Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan 4 and UI Goku and Evolution Vegeta, and trying to figure out when exactly these guys are going to be dropping in your local time zone. As always, to figure this out, we're going to look at a couple of things from in-game and some known things from the data that should help us pinpoint exactly when the banners should be dropping, or at the very least give us a window we can work at. After all, Dokkan Battle is nothing but predictable when it comes to the way they do things. All we have to do is just take a look in the right areas and so let's go ahead and start with our knowns, right? And the easiest thing to do here is to take a look at the 11th anniversary part 1, because this is going to give us an indicator of when we can expect to see the banner. So we know that the 11th anniversary part 1 broadcast occurred during the 28th at 3 a.m. PST. And of course, we do have our handy dandy time zone converter here, so we can check and see what that is, right? So for, those of you in PST, that was obviously 3 a.m. on the 28th. For me, it was 1 a.m. Really rough time, right? So with that information known, we can now take a look at when the anniversary banner is released and see that, right, the Goku banner released during, almost 20, was that 7 p.m. So from the release of the from the live stream, which happened at 3 a.m. PST, so to 7 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So let's adjust that real quick. So for me on the 28th, just to see what that is, right? So we can see here, right, 1 a.m. for me, and then the final release time was at 7 p.m., right, on the 28th. So 1 a.m. to 7 p.m., that was about 26 hours, right? So we can use that information to help us figure out when part 2 is going to happen, right? When those banners are going to drop. So if we take a look here, right, the in-game news, the part 2 banners or the part 2 live stream is occurring on the 13th of February at 18:30 PST. So if we go ahead and switch this, right, we'll change this to February here in our handy dandy time zone converter. But by the way, if you want to use this, you can go ahead and check it out. I'll have it linked in the description, right? So we can see 14 here, and then set our time to 6:30 p.m., right? 18:30 p.m. So you can see here that'll be 4:30 p.m. for me, for people on Eastern time, and I'm going to use this time because it's going to be one of our other known time zones right here. So 9:30 p.m. for them. Greenwich Mean Time at 2:30 a.m. So with that in mind, right, we can work from there. So if we assume the time frame between release of banner and live stream is the same, and we'll round up here, so we'll just go from the start. So we'll say 6, so 26 hours from then. That would put us at, so 6:30, so 8:30, right? So 8:30 p.m. on the, on the 15th, right? If we went 24 hours from then, right? So we'll adjust this here. So let's go, where is it? Right? 8:30 p.m., right? Let's just say that. They don't usually end on a half hour, so could be 8, could be 9, but let's go with that, right? So that puts us Eastern time, 11:30 p.m., and Greenwich Mean Time, 4:30 a.m. on the 15th, right? On the 15th. So keep that in mind here, because that means there might be a little bit of an adjustment here. Right, so if we look over at, where is it here? It's here. So we have another known time here, right? We know at the 14th at 09 a.m. GMT, the background is changing. And we also know that all of the part 1 banner informations are going away at, that same time. So that would be the indicator that would be the start of the part 2, right? So the part 2 would be at 09 GMT. So if we were to adjust that from our original time, right, so from our banner time, right, if we come down here, Greenwich Mean Time, and so this is on the 14th though. So if we adjust this here, to 14 and change this to 09. Okay, and now we are looking at, right, so 9 a.m. So PST, 1 a.m. start time, 11 p.m. on the 13th for me. Start time. So somewhere in that window is when the banners are dropping. Now, a lot of people are assuming that the banners are going to be dropping at this time when everything shifts, right? Because this is also when, at the same time, all of the missions drop, which typically tend to drop with the units. And a lot of other things are all dropping at this time. So this kind of also coincides with the in-game news where we can see the Elder Kai banner, right? There's usually 24 hours from when the Elder Kai banner leaves to when the new banners drop. However, things are changed a little bit differently. So on the 15th at 6:59 p.m. is when they're dropping. Now, this would line up if the drop is on that 8:30 time frame. This is a little after. So I'm not sure if they've just adjusted the window, or it used to be that this would leave before and then a new one would come when it drops, but they seem to have changed it for this one. However, the stone sales end on the 13th at 4 a.m. So they've really messed things up, right? We can no longer use this method to figure it out, unfortunately. But one thing we can tell from the in-game news, right, if we take a look here, right, when the actual campaign kicked off on here, we can see that the actual campaign did kick off at the 7 p.m. time. So campaign and banners kicked off at the same time. So it looks like they may have adjusted the time frame to earlier for the part 2, I guess, to focus on a different part of the world. So part 1 got one part of the world to have a decent time, and part 2 gets the other side of the world. So we're going to go with what this here for the banners, right? So we're going to assume that the banners are dropping either at this time or by that 24-hour period that we met. So if we were to look at what this looks like in your local time zone, right, we can see for me over here in Hawaii, this is, 11 p.m. for you PST folks. This is going to be 1 a.m. on the 14th, right? So essentially, 6 hours after, just about 6 hours after the live stream is when we will see the banners in game, which is pretty decent if we assume that this is when it's happening. Could also adjust, but as Rick notes here, it is a very strange that we have a very specific time for all of these to leave. That doesn't usually happen. So with that in mind, again, continuing on, Japan Standard Time, that's going to be a 6 p.m. release time on February the 14th. For those of you on Mountain Standard Time, you guys are looking at 2 a.m. Central Time, you're looking at 3 a.m. on the 14th. Eastern Time, you're looking at 4 a.m., which again lines up with what Rick and a few others were talking about, right? So 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Argentina, our friends over there in Argentina, you guys are looking at a 6 a.m. release time for the banners, right? Of course, we know 9 a.m. on Greenwich Mean Time. And then, of course, Paris, you guys are looking at 10 a.m. For our friends over in Australia, right, you're looking at 8 p.m. on Saturday the 14th. As always, if you want to make adjustments here, right, you simply need to use your known times, right? So we're going with our 11 p.m. release time on the 13th for me, for the 14th for everybody else. But if you were let's say you were one of our viewers in the Philippines here, right? You could easily find your time zone here by typing it in and it will match to your known time. So 5 p.m. on the 14th, right? Let's say we had some others here. Do we have, I think we have the We have some folks over in Eastern Europe here. EEST, you guys are looking at, or I guess it's EEST right now, 11 a.m. Again, if you don't see your time zone here, you let us know, and we'll try to make sure we hit it on the last one. I didn't see any new time zones on the last one, but if I'm not covering you here, please always let us know in the comments down below. And of course, let us know where you are at, if you already know when it's going to happen. But we're assuming 9 a.m. GMT, that is 11 p.m. on February the 13th, Hawaii Standard Time. And, you know, for you PST folks, that's 1 a.m. Guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know when will the banners be dropping for you? What time zone are you in? Hopefully this clarified a few things. The drop's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit quick turnaround from the reveals to the banners, if we assume that is correct, right? So the earliest time is going to be that you know, that 9 a.m. GMT I showed you guys earlier, and then the at the latest by 8 to 9 p.m. on the following day. We shall see, but I can assume that that's when it will be, somewhere in that window. But let us know in the comments down below when you think it'll be happening for you. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.